Hello and welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating exploration of the human psyche and our need for meaning, The Cry for Myth by Rollo May. Have you ever wondered why certain stories, legends, and myths resonate so deeply within us, across cultures and time? Rollo May, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, uncovers the profound role that myths play in our lives, not just as ancient tales but as vital frameworks for understanding our fears, desires, and struggles. In a world where modern life often feels chaotic and fragmented, May argues that myths are more essential than ever, helping us navigate the complexities of existence. If you're curious about how these timeless narratives shape who we are and guide us through life's biggest challenges, stick around. Let's unravel the compelling insights from The Cry for Myth and discover how myths continue to speak to our deepest needs today. Overview of Rollo May and The Cry for Myth. Rollo May, a prominent existential psychologist, explores the power and relevance of myths in modern life in his book, The Cry for Myth. May argues that myths are not merely ancient stories or obsolete religious narratives but vital psychological tools that help individuals navigate life's complexities, uncertainties, and existential challenges. The book is a profound exploration of how myths shape our understanding of the world and ourselves, offering a unique perspective on human experience. Importance of myths in contemporary society. In a world dominated by science and technology, where rational thought often eclipses the spiritual and emotional aspects of life, May's exploration of myths highlights their enduring relevance. He asserts that myths serve as a bridge between the conscious and unconscious mind, helping individuals make sense of their lives, cope with existential anxiety, and find meaning in an often chaotic world. Part 1: The Role of Myth in Human Experience. Defining myth. May begins by defining what he means by myth. He distinguishes between the popular understanding of myths as falsehoods or outdated stories and his psychological interpretation, which views myths as essential narratives that express universal human experiences and emotions. According to May, myths are symbolic representations of profound truths about the human condition, and they play a crucial role in shaping our identity, values, and worldview. The psychological function of myths. May delves into the psychological functions of myths, explaining how they help individuals navigate existential dilemmas, such as the fear of death, the quest for meaning, and the struggle for identity. Myths provide a framework for understanding and integrating these experiences, offering comfort, guidance, and a sense of belonging. Myth as a response to existential anxiety. One of May's central arguments is that myths arise in response to existential anxiety, the deep-seated fear and uncertainty that come with being human. He argues that myths help individuals confront and transcend this anxiety by providing a sense of order, purpose, and continuity in a seemingly chaotic and meaningless world. Part 2: Analysis of Key Myths. The Myth of the Hero. May explores the myth of the hero, a central narrative in many cultures, as a symbolic representation of the individual's journey towards self-realization. The hero's journey, with its trials, tribulations, and ultimate triumph, mirrors the human struggle for growth, self-discovery, and the overcoming of obstacles. May connects this myth to the psychological process of individuation, where individuals strive to integrate different aspects of themselves and achieve a sense of wholeness. The Myth of the Fall. The myth of the fall, found in various religious and cultural traditions, represents the loss of innocence and the inevitability of suffering in human life. May interprets this myth as a reflection of the existential realization that life is filled with pain, loss, and imperfection. However, he also emphasizes that this awareness can lead to a deeper understanding of the human condition and the potential for growth and redemption. The Myth of the Eternal Return. The myth of the eternal return, which appears in many ancient religions and philosophies, expresses the cyclical nature of existence. May discusses how this myth symbolizes the repetitive patterns of life and the desire for renewal and rebirth. He suggests that this myth offers a way to cope with the passage of time and the fear of death by affirming the continuity of life. The Myth of the Mother. May examines the myth of the mother, which represents the archetypal figure of nurturing, protection, and unconditional love. He explores how this myth influences our relationships, particularly the bond between mother and child, and how it shapes our expectations of care and support throughout life. The myth of the mother also embodies the tension between dependence and independence, a central theme in human development. Part 3: Myths in Modern Context. The loss of myth in modern society. May argues that modern society has experienced a profound loss of myth, as rationality, science, and secularism have increasingly dominated our worldview. This loss, he contends, has led to a sense of disorientation, alienation, and existential emptiness, as individuals are left without the symbolic narratives that once provided meaning and direction. The creation of new myths. Despite the decline of traditional myths, May believes that new myths are constantly emerging in response to contemporary challenges. He explores how modern myths, found in literature, film, and popular culture, address issues such as identity, alienation, and the search for meaning in a rapidly changing world. May argues that these new myths, while different in form, continue to fulfill the same psychological functions as ancient myths. The myth of technology. May discusses the myth of technology, which he sees as a double-edged sword. While technology promises progress, control, and convenience, it also brings new forms of alienation, anxiety, and loss of meaning. May explores how the myth of technology shapes our perceptions of power, knowledge, and human potential, and how it both enhances and diminishes our sense of connection to the world. Part 4: The Therapeutic Use of Myth. Myth in Psychotherapy. May emphasizes the therapeutic potential of myths in psychotherapy, where they can be used to help individuals understand and transform their psychological struggles. He explains how therapists can draw on myths to help clients explore their inner worlds, confront their fears, and reframe their experiences in a more meaningful way. Myths, according to May, provide a rich source of metaphors and symbols that can facilitate healing and personal growth. Case studies. May includes case studies from his own therapeutic practice to illustrate how myths can be used in therapy. These examples show how clients' personal narratives often reflect larger mythic themes and how recognizing these connections can lead to breakthroughs in understanding and self-awareness. The role of the therapist as mythmaker. May suggests that therapists, in a sense, act as modern mythmakers, helping clients create new narratives that integrate their experiences and provide a sense of coherence and purpose. He argues that by helping clients reframe their stories in mythic terms, therapists can guide them toward greater self-acceptance, empowerment, and transformation. Part 5: The Cry for Myth in the Modern World. The Human Need for Myth. May concludes with a reflection on the enduring human need for myth. He argues that myths are not just relics of the past but essential tools for living in the present and future. Myths, he asserts, provide a means of understanding the complexities of life, coping with existential anxiety, and finding meaning in the face of uncertainty. Reviving myth in a secular age. In a world where traditional religious and cultural myths have lost much of their power, May calls for the revival of myth in a new form. He suggests that by recognizing the mythic dimensions of modern life and creating new myths that resonate with contemporary experiences, we can restore a sense of meaning, connection, and purpose. The future of myth. May ends with a discussion of the future of myth, expressing hope that as individuals and societies, we will continue to create and embrace myths that reflect our deepest values, aspirations, and challenges. He believes that myths will remain an essential part of the human experience, guiding us through the complexities of life and helping us navigate the uncertainties of the future. Conclusion. Summary of key themes. The Cry for Myth, by Rollo May, is a profound exploration of the role of myth in human life. Through his psychological lens, May reveals the power of myths to shape our understanding of ourselves and the world, offering insights into how they help us navigate existential challenges and find meaning in life. Final reflections. In The Cry for Myth, Rollo May offers a compelling argument for the importance of myth in both individual and collective life. His insights into the psychological functions of myth, the challenges of modernity, and the therapeutic use of myth make this book a valuable resource for anyone interested in psychology, philosophy, and the search for meaning. May's call to revive and create new myths is a powerful reminder of the need for symbolic narratives that can help us navigate the uncertainties of life and find a sense of purpose and connection